entering a synagogue, we take notice that men wear a certain mantle. And this mantle has fringes on each of the four corners. Why do we do that? Well, it's actually an instruction in the Torah. The Torah says that God tells Moses to tell the children of Israel, they left Egypt, now I want you to put these fringes upon the corners of your garments. And these fringes will remind you of your obligations with God. Ureitemoto, and you will see them. Uzechartem et kol mitzvot Hashem, and you will remember all the instructions that God gave you. So in a sense, these tzitzit are a symbol. It's a flag. It reminds you of your relationship with God. Today, we don't wear garments that have four corners. So we no longer have to put fringes upon them because the obligation is only when you have four corners. So what do? We take a special mantle, put on the fringes because we consider it's a very important instruction because it reminds us of our obligation with God. Actually, many religious people have also something called talit katan. In the mornings, they put on a small garment with four corners that has fringes upon it. They wear it under their shirt, on top of their underwear, but between the shirt and the underwear, they have this called talit katan. Actually, in Hebrew, it should be talit ketana, but everybody says talit katan. And it's the same thing. It's supposed to remind you of your obligation with God. There was a sect that separated from Judaism called the Karaites. They did not believe in the interpretation of the rabbis of the Torah. They followed strictly the letter of the law. So they did not wear these things. What they did is place a big talit on the wall of their synagogue, in one of the walls, and when they repeated this paragraph from the Torah, they pointed their finger and said, Ureitemoto, look at these tzitzit. That's supposed to remind you of all your obligation with God. Our rabbis thought it very important, so when they composed the Shema Yisrael, which is the affirmation of the existence of only one God, and the first paragraph tells you that you have to love God with all your heart, with all your might, teach your children, place these instructions on the doorposts of your home, remember it. You know, the second paragraph speaks about nature reacting to our actions. If you behave morally, there will be rain. If you don't, God will close the heavens and there won't be any rain. The third paragraph is the one of tzitzit, and it contains this instruction that I mentioned. So our rabbis considered it very important. Why is this so? Maybe because it's supposed to remind us who you are. There's a story in the Talmud that says that a man wanted to have relations with a prostitute, and he sent her 400 coins of gold. And when he came to her house and was about starting to get undressed, he realized that he has fringes on the corners of his garment, and he said to himself, how can I go and have relations with a prostitute when this is supposed to remind me of all my obligations with God? Then he got dressed and he didn't do anything. It seems that the prostitute, according to the story in the Talmud, was so impressed by this man that she decided to change her life as well, and she became Jewish and started to be a very ethical person. So that we see that these tzitzit are very important. It is interesting to note the Torah says like this: V'lo taturu acharei levavchem v'acharei einechem. You should not follow. The word taturu is a very strange word that is found also with the spies. It's sort of negative, you know. Don't look the wrong way. Acharei levavchem, after your hearts and after your eyes. Actually, you see with your eyes. So the Torah should have said, don't go and look with your eyes, and then the effect that will have upon your heart. Your heart is symbolically maybe where your sentiments are, your knowledge. But the Torah says something different. Maybe the Torah is trying to teach us that our eyes see what our hearts tell them to see. We are predisposed when we go out into the world and we look at events, we look at things, we see with our heart first. Some people see the good, other people only see the negative things. Some people see the half glass full, others see the half glass empty. It depends what is your attitude. So maybe the tzitzit is trying to train us that our eyes should follow our hearts, that our hearts should be filled with love, with ethical motivation in order to make this a better world. So maybe the tzitzit, even though we no longer wear four-corner garments, are very important today when there's so many distractions in this world, and tzitzit tells us what are the kind of things we should really look for in society.